What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to this edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. This is episode number 331. Episode number 331 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I want to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, especially this broadcast here today. Spread it around the internets and throughout the fucking world. Excuse my goddamn French. This is some serious business that we need to discuss, and we're going to get into it right goddamn now, okay? I want to say, first of all, thanks to the guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room and the Inner Circle, specifically the Inner Circle. We've been having some deep discussions about the events that we have supposedly seen on the mainstream media today, so we're going to talk about that extensively. But if you want to follow me on Gab, folks, that's my only social media representation on the internet today. Get yourself a free Gab account, and once you do, follow me under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you've got to do is do the following. Go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and click the subscribe button for premium content, okay? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and send me a private message on Gab, and I will send you a private message back with a link to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, a private link. It's that damn simple. Now that we got that all out of the way, I want to be completely honest with you, folks. I am completely disgusted at the news that is basically on every goddamn talking head mainstream media outlet in America today. And of course, if you've been living under a rock, okay, the news I'm talking about are these alleged bombs that have been mailed to supposed Democrats from the Barack Obama to Bill and Hillary Clinton, Eric Holder, Maxine Waters, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Supposedly Kamala Harris got one. Andrew Cuomo supposedly got one. CNN got one. Folks, don't you all find it funny that all these bombs that are mailed to folks were the same folks advocating violence throughout the whole goddamn year? I mean, every single one of the perpetrators, the supposed recipients of these goddamn bombs, these are the people that have been advocating violence. They were the ones that have been stoking violence ever since the president was inaugurated, for Christ's sake. Now, folks, I want to be completely honest with you. This damn ridiculous event that we are witnessing today is a complete false flag. A complete, entire false flag, and if you don't believe it, okay? If you don't believe it, just take a look at the narrative that keeps changing in regards to this goddamn ridiculous story. Take a look at the narrative. Remember, early this morning, they claimed that there was bombs delivered to the home of Bill and Hillary Clinton in New York. And then that narrative changed from the home to, oh, well, you know, there's a facility that kind of processes the Bill and Hillary Clinton mail, so it wasn't in their home. And if you take a look at the pipe bombs that they're showing off, folks, if you have not seen the pipe bombs, I strongly advise you all to take a look at it. Who the hell is this supposed to fool? Aside from the pipe bomb being made out of goddamn PVC pipe, which is plastic, okay, and that's not just me observing what I saw on the photo of the goddamn bomb. This is even also being reported in the mainstream media. This is PVC pipe. It is a ridiculous bomb. Who the fuck is this supposed to fool? Who in the hell is this supposed to fool, for Christ's sake, folks? Now, look, I'm not trying to tell anybody that I know about bombs or anything, but anybody who has any inkling about explosives will tell you that this is the fakest looking bomb anybody could ever have produced. And if you take a look at the bomb that they have pictured all over the Drudge Report and other mainstream media outlets, take a look at the envelope, the manila envelope that it's supposedly mailed in. And I want you to notice that where the stamps are on this envelope, that there's no kind of postal markings whatsoever on the stamps. And remember, the initial narrative was that they were mailed. They were mailed out to CNN, to Barack Obama, to Bill and Hillary Clinton, to Maxine Waters, to Eric Holder, to Kamala Harris. I mean, all it's supposedly mailed. This is all supposedly mailed. And you mean to tell me that not only did these goddamn bombs pass through mailing facilities and not go off, but they just decided to go ahead and deliver it without stamping on the stamps? You know as well as I, folks, when you get something delivered to you in the mail, you take a look at the stamps, they go over the stamps with something because they don't want you to reuse them on another letter or on another package, etc. If you take a look at the photos that are being released, folks, there are no markings on the stamps. So that means this narrative that they were supposedly mailed through a goddamn fucking post office facility is fucking pathetically false. It's false. It's a bunch of garbage. Oh, yeah, and John Brennan. Remember, we've been talking about John Brennan recently. Remember, in relations to the rogue element of the CIA? John Brennan, of course, being the head of the CIA during the Obama administration. Yeah, one was also mailed to him. And if you take a look at these bombs, folks, they are the fakest pieces of crap I've ever seen in my life. The fakest bunch of crap in my life. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument that you believe this, okay? Let's just say for the sake of argument that these bombs that have been mailed to these Democrats who have all been advocating violence, let's just say that they're real. Why are we now making these Democrats who received this fake crap, why are we making them the victims all of a sudden? Why are we crying that the folks who have been advocating violence ever since this president took office is now supposedly getting something in the mail in which, I hate to say it, they've been stoking. They've been stoking, for Christ's sake. All right? I mean, and look, people are actually on Gab right now saying PVC, not even Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold from the goddamn Columbine shootings use PVC pipe for their goddamn bombs. Of course not. It's a bunch of crap. It's a lie. It's a false flag. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's go back and let's just pretend that, yeah, this was real. That these are real bombs and they really got mailed. And look, the guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, they are now posting the photos of all the bombs that have been posted as photos. None of them have any markings on the goddamn stamps, signifying that they did not, and I repeat, did not go through the United States Postal Service. They did not. So the narrative that they have been mailed to all these people is a bunch of shit. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, it was for real. Do you think that someone who is so motivated to be able to construct bombs and mail them to the highest important people of our government and able to get across the United States Postal System's inspection service and be able to be delivered to these so-called targets, which are high targets, which are highly securitized, and these are politicians. These are supposed to be important people. How come the person that built the bomb didn't build one that went off? Can you explain that one to me? I mean, how do we have pictures of these bombs? How do we have pictures of them if they took them out of the package and it didn't go off? I mean, I'm just saying, if this is such a sophisticated act of terror, how come not one of them went off, period? Because it's a bunch of shit, folks, okay? Do not believe this false flag, this fucking dumb bombing false flag event is meant to conjure up sympathy for the Democrats who have been advocating violence. We're but, 10 or 11 days away from the damn election, midterms? And folks, on top of this false flag trying to gain sympathy towards the Democrats that were advocating violence to begin with, I think people need to be concerned on what is the culmination of all this. Why is all this happening? Folks, if you want my opinion, on top of basically trying to gain or garner, I should say, sympathy towards these Democrats that have been advocating violence, if you want my opinion, this is a political tactic that is now being used by everyone on the left. You notice that? You would think that if this is such an act of terror, that we would be trying to get together as a country. We would use this as a means of saying, hey, look, they're trying to hit up our politicians and they're trying to do this. And I mean, that's what the message was this morning when it came to Donald Trump and Melania Trump coming out and denouncing what has transpired, supposedly. I mean, this is why I'm telling each and every one of you, this is a bunch of crap. Now, what was the first response by Chuck Schumer and Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi? Blaming Trump. Take a look at all the Democrat surrogates that are out there on the media right now. They're blaming Trump and his rhetoric, Trump supporters, etc. They are trying to turn this narrative of violence, political violence, which is being stoked by the Democrats that receive these so-called bombs. They are now trying to spin that narrative in that Trump is the one who's dangerous. It's Trump that's inspiring to do this nonsense. It is a bunch of false flag crap. And I can't believe this. Folks, I want to be completely candid with you guys. We are being attacked. The United States, as a national sovereign country, is being attacked by the globalists. And it's not just this stupid false flag attack. Remember, this false flag attack has been fucking covered every hour on the hour, all hour since this morning. Every mainstream media is out here covering this stupid fucking story. And meanwhile, what isn't being covered? What is being pushed into the closet while this is becoming the point of emphasis of every mainstream media outlet? Folks, we're being attacked by the globalists. And I'm not trying to sound like Alex Jones here, but you need to fucking open your eyes. Did you hear about these children that are dropping dead of some mysterious illness out there in New Jersey? No, you're not hearing about that kind of shit. You're not hearing that you've got fucking kids now in the Midwest that are getting afflicted with fucking polio, and they're not even calling it polio. They're saying some polio-like disease is afflicting these children. We're being biologically attacked, and that's not being covered. And guess what? The migrant caravan isn't being covered, is it? And I gabbed last night that there's a second caravan coming to the United States border. There's a second caravan, and the caravan numbers have gone from a mere 4,000, which is big enough, to now almost 20,000 illegal migrants. 20,000 so-called migrants headed to the United States border. Do you understand? The globalists are trying to attack us, you fucking morons! We're fucking being attacked! I mean, this is blatant, for Christ's sake! This is fucking blatant! I mean, what did Cuomo, the fucking asshole who's the governor of New York, what has he done? Supposedly he got one sent to himself. Of course, all these Democrats are trying to self-grandize themselves, suggesting that they all were mailed something. Kamala Harris is claiming she was mailed something, for Christ's sake. What did Cuomo do today? He is calling in the National Guard, folks, to guard New York City and the rest of New York State. Martial fucking law. And why is Cuomo doing it? Because he's a fucking globalist piece of trash that wants to destroy this country, just like these fucking Democrats have been doing since Obama was president, man. They're trying to destroy the country, because if America is destroyed, then globalism prevails. I mean, I could go on and on. What the hell's happening in this fucking country? We're being attacked, damn it! We're being attacked at every fucking level you can imagine. We're being attacked on a psyop level. We're being attacked biologically. We're being invaded from within and on the outside. We're in the midst of a fucking civil war out here. And we need fucking Americans to stand up and say, hey, you're not going to take away my fucking country. You fucking pieces of shit. You're not going to take away my country. You fucking globalist assholes. Where are the American patriots that are going to stand up to these fucking people that are trying to get rid of our fucking country? Where are they? Where the fuck are they? God damn it! And the reason I'm getting so pissed off, folks, is because, look, I know what's going on here. This is an attack. And why are the Democrats involved in it, folks? Because they're globalists. They want to see America destroyed. That's why they're so pro-open border. That's why they're so pro-illegal immigrant. That's why they want to punish the domestic population for the problems that they brought in. And look, Trump has been on a roll as of late, folks. Trump has been on a roll. Here recently, and look, I had to take Monday off because I wanted to see that damn speech by Trump in Texas. He not only called out globalists, he suggested and advocated and said it vocally that he was a nationalist. He was a nationalist. And you see, the globalists don't like that, folks. Globalists don't like that. And I'm telling each and every one of you right now, folks, we are being attacked by these globalist scumbags. And who's helping these people? It's not just George Soros anymore, folks. You've got Chinese operatives out here. I mean, lest we forget, Dianne Feinstein had a goddamn Chinese spy that was her office manager and her driver. Do you understand? There's a whole bunch of countries with vested interest to see the absolute collapse and demise of America. And we've got people in this fucking country that are in Washington that are trying to make that a reality, for Christ's sake. I mean, folks, what more evidence do you need that we are being attacked at every fucking level as American citizens? How much more evidence do you need that these Democrats have no loyalty to our country? That they, even whether you want to believe today's events were a false flag or not, you would think that if these people were so pro-America that they would say, look, it's not about politics. This is serious. We got to bring the country together. That's what Trump did. And what are they doing on the left? They're blaming the Trump and his supporters. They're blaming Trump and his supporters. They're blaming Trump and his supporters. I saw one guy today on Neil Cavuto, which is on Fox, but he was off today. So Charles Payne, very good black stock investor, by the way. Charles Payne was filling in for Neil Cavuto, and he was actually talking to one of these Democrats. And the Democrats were suggesting that this goes back to the Tea Party. The Tea Party. When Charles Payne was like, look, we've had Democrats who've been advocating this violence. Don't you think that they bear some responsibility on this? And they're saying, no. You have to blame the Tea Party back in 2010 for this type of violence. Can you believe this? I mean, when you've got Democrats politicizing an act of supposed terror that could have affected the country, you know that this was a bunch of bullshit. You know that this is a false flag. And once again, look at everybody out here is posting the photographs. Everybody's posting the photographs in the True Capitalist Radio chat room of these packages. And folks, if you look at the bombs, they are the fakest bunch of garbage I have ever seen in my life. They are the fakest bunch of garbage. Nothing is over these stamps. You know, when you get a letter, folks, the post office makes sure to go over something with stamps so that you won't be able to reuse them again. None of these photographs of the bomb and the manila envelope that they were sent in have anything over the stamps, folks. So that signifies that this lie, this absolute lie that they were mailed is fucking false. And if that's false, then what else is false? The fact that these bombs were made of PVC pipe? The fact that this, I mean, folks, even if you believe that these were real bombs mailed to these stupid Democrats, how come not one of them went off? How come not one of them went off? And answer yourself that. Why? I mean, if they were going to pull off this dramatic event, if they were going to bomb make, if they were going to create all these things, how come not one of them went off? It is a bunch of crap. What's not being covered, folks? I'm telling you, take a look. Look, why don't you Google right now? It's barely in the news. There are kids dying and getting sick of some unknown ailment, unknown virus in New Jersey right now. There are kids in the Midwest right now that are being afflicted with a polio-like virus and that are dying as well. We've got a fucking migrant caravan headed to our borders that has already amassed 20,000 migrants, and it's probably going to even increase more so that they can try to invade our country. You've got Cuomo, the governor of New York, who claims that he got one of these fucking dumb fucking false flag bombs or whatever the fuck. He has now deployed the National Guard in New York. It's martial law. And you know, it's not martial law everywhere. It's just martial law in New York. Why? Because this is going to inspire other Democrat-dominated states to do the same thing. This is almost Civil War-like acts, if you want my personal opinion. I mean, folks, there's been movies that have had this as their context. That a state that goes rogue implements the National Guard in their own state and creates their own country, their own state, etc. Okay? I'm going to be honest with you, all right? I'm just simply telling everybody right now, this is a false flag. It is on a PSYOP level. They're trying to biologically attack us. They're trying to invade us, not only from within, but on the outside. This is the globalists making their move. And I want to be honest with you, folks. I'm very concerned for the president's safety right now. I am very concerned for the president's safety. And the reason I suggest this is because the whole reason why these false flag bombs were sent was to garner sympathy amongst those Democrats that were advocating violence here for the past 6 to 8 months. Garner sympathy that, oh, now they're the victims. Even though they were the ones that were advocating violence, no, they're the victims now. Aww. That's the way it is, folks. That's the way it is, and I'm telling you right now, we need American patriots to start recognizing what the hell's going on in America today, because I'm telling you right now, if something happens to Donald Trump, then everyone who's been advocating violence on the left should be targets of venting of frustration. Because, folks, nobody on our side has been advocating the type of violence that these pieces of crap have. And these are politicians. I mean, the same people that were advocating violence are the same people that receive these so-called bombs, folks. And, folks, I want to be honest with you, this pisses me off to no end, because I can see what's going on here. Don't. Most people don't even understand what the hell's going on. I know what's going on. Why is the New York governor deploying National Guard troops? Why are the Democrats staying silent on this migrant crisis that's happening in the southern border? 20,000 headed to the southern United States border. Why is it that we're having these weird fucking afflictions of viruses being stricken to children both in New Jersey and in the Midwest? I'm telling you, folks, these fucking people that are on the Democrats are anti-American scum. And anybody who's an American out there better realize this and better start practicing their fucking Second Amendment and better start recognizing that if something happens to our president, that these people that have been advocating violence ever since this president was inaugurated, they need to be the venting of people's frustrations, folks. All right? I'm not even kidding around. It's revolution time as far as I'm concerned if something happens to Trump. If something happens to Trump, it's fucking revolution time. And I want to be honest with you, man. Who are to blame? Who is the major contingent of these left-wing resistance and protests and whatnot? Who is the major contingent of these people? It's fatties, uglies, and faggots. Fatties, uglies, and faggots. Take a look at all the people that are doing all this protesting and confronting of politicians and out there at protests. And I mean, lest we forget that the Democrats are known for trying to inspire kinds of violence like this in an attempt for political gain. Did we all forget the Project Veritas videos in which they showed Scott Fovel, the Democrat operative, that was literally in charge of making the Trump rally in Chicago riot? Y'all remember that? That was Democrat operatives right there. That was Scott Fovel. And lest we forget, he was a faggot poshole as well. I'm telling you, folks, as it pertains to the LGBTQ, I am done with the LGBTQ at this point in time. These people are now a protected class, and yet they are still bitching. And if you want my personal opinion, if we take a look at the HIV/AIDS status of most of these posholes that are out here committing all these weird fucking political violent acts or inspiring or organizing political violent acts, you will find out that the majority of these people are infected with HIV/AIDS. And I think that anybody who is infected with HIV/AIDS is suspect, as far as I'm concerned, to be trusted for anything. You know? I'm not even kidding around. I mean, you know, we were talking about this in the Inner Circle today, right? We were talking about, well, are there any other people that are afflicted with these types of ailments that act like these posholes? No. Typically, when people are diagnosed with cancer or they're diagnosed with some kind of a serious ailment, typically, what happens? They have a sense of humility. You know, they are like, oh, man, let me do the things that I never did before in my life. They're not worried about taking vengeance on anybody like these damn posholes in the LGBTQ community. And the reason I'm going after LGBTQ, folks, is because, look, the President Donald Trump gave the LGBTQ an olive branch in the 2016 GOP convention. Gave them an olive branch. Do y'all remember? He, and I'm talking about President Trump, or back then, candidate Trump, was asking the GOP 2016 convention to give a round of applause to the LGBTQ Republicans, and they actually applaud, and Trump thanked them for that. Trump thanked the GOP convention for that and said that was really big of you. That was an olive branch by the president to the LGBTQ. And what has the LGBTQ done, folks? They have been the organizers of all this leftist resistance nonsense. And that's why, folks, I don't know if y'all have heard, the president wants a definition, a legal definition of what is gender. The president wants to establish a legal definition of gender under Title IX, okay, under the federal civil rights law, as male and female. All right, that's it. I mean, that's what the president wants. Sex must be defined based upon biology traits identifiable by or before birth, okay? None of this ridiculousness. I'm a pansexual. I'm sexually androgynous. I'm two-spirited. I'm a fucking what's the queer? I'm a queer. I'm queer, and I'm. Look, I'm tired of these fucking LGBTQ posholes, man. They're a danger to society. How many more people have to be exposed as fucking posholes committing violent acts for political so-called purposes? I mean, aside from Scott Fovel, who is an HIV-positive poshole himself, remember those two posholes that Project Veritas had on tape organizing and trying to plan gas being released through the vents of a pro-Trump event right before the inauguration? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that, for Christ's sake? How many more of these poshole faggots do we have to expose and realize that, hey, these people, they have a problem? You know, once they become HIV positive, not only do they want to pause every neg hole that they can sink their fruit bowl goddamn flesh flute into, but they also want to take as many people as they down with them as possible. They want to make things disorganized. They want to, quote, fuck shit up. And I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it, and we as Americans can no longer show any kind of sympathy to these people anymore. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be hateful. Just observe around you what the hell has happened. Just take a look at the protest of the so-called resistance leftists. It's a bunch of fatties, uglies, and faggots. And I'm not just talking about female fatty and uglies. It's males, too. Take a look at that one bastard that was harassing Mitch McConnell and his wife at a goddamn Louisville, Kentucky restaurant or some shit. A fat, bloated piece of loser trash. I mean, there is a constant here. There is a constant, and we need to recognize that. People that are fatties, uglies, and faggots want to blame the world for decisions that they made, for things that are only problems that they can fix, etc. So, look, I'm glad the president is slapping these fucking trannies in the fucking face. And look, folks, for y'all that have been listening to me for years, you know I've been very open-minded to these fucking people. You remember I've had a few trannies and hermaphrodites and shit in the goddamn inner circle, which, unfortunately, we had to let go because they turned into a bunch of fucking fruit bowl, poshole fucking leftists. You know, I mean,
No, I'm a tranny, and the leftists love trans rights. Yeah.
You know, there was one tranny, folks, and, you know, I hate to be this candid, but there was this one tranny who used to be a porn star. If y'all who know who I'm talking about, I'm not going to say any names, but this person cut their fucking schlong off because they wanted to be a real woman or something, so they cut their schlong off, and believe it or not, folks, this person that cut their schlong off went to college and played soccer as a female. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, if for those that are really concerned about it, there's articles written about this person like,
oh, look, transgendered sports. Look, that's just such a valiant thing. Look at this person playing transgendered but playing girls' sports. Oh, look at that shit.
Folks, I'm tired of it. I'm sorry, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of posholes. I'm tired of faggots. I'm tired of fatties, uglies, because that's the constant on the other side, folks. That's the constant on the other side. And, you know, they want to curb our speech. You're not curbing my speech. That's why I'm saying whatever the fuck I want to say, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like the fact that I'm calling you a fatty, ugly, or a fucking faggot, then get the hell out of here. Then get out! Get the fuck out of here! Man, I'm so pissed off, man. I gotta shoot shots. And you know that? I'm gonna shoot shots right now. I'm so fucking pissed off at the false flags, at the globalist infiltration of our country, of the potholes, fatties, uglies, and faggots. I'm tired of it all! I'm tired of it all! For fuck's sake, I'm tired of it! Are we just going to let these leftists come over here and take over our country? Are we just going to let these leftists who are working for globalist interests take our country down the fucking tubes? Fuck's sake, no! For fuck's sake, no! Oh, God. Jesus Christ, give me a fucking shot, man. I purposely got some fucking liquor for today, man. You know that? I'm not even kidding around. I got myself some Chivas Blue Label, for Christ's sake. That's all they had at this one little shitty liquor store. But that's all they got. And you know why, folks? I mean, good God, look at all the shit around us, man. Look at all the fucking shit around us. Oh, where are the American patriots that are going to be fearless and stand up to these fucking fatties, uglies, and faggots on the left? Where are the American patriots out here? We need you, man! We fucking need you! Jesus Christ, look, I got a double shot right now of some Chivas Blue. I want to say cheers to all the American patriots that are listening out there. This is a rough, dangerous time, folks. The globalists are going for broke, and you have to know this. This isn't about conspiracy theories and fucking Alex Jones bullshit anymore. They are out in the open. They are trying to show their power. Look at them. Look at them. Just look around you. This is to the patriots, the American capitalists, the American right. This is to you. We need you all more than ever. We need you to practice your Second Amendment and practice it to the fullest extent possible. We need as many right-wing capitalists out there being as vocal as possible, as fearless as possible, man. As fucking fearless as possible. We need fearless men. Where are the fearless men out here? I'm calling on you, man. It's time for you all to stand up. It's time for you all to rise up and show these fucking fatties, uglies, and faggots on the left that we're not going to just sit by and stay silent anymore. You're not going to take our country from us. I'm telling each and every one of you fucking leftists, you will not take this country without the fight of your fucking lives. You will not take this country. You will not take America. And I'm giving a cheers to each and every one of you because I need to calm down. I need to calm my nerves, for Christ's sake. My goddamn heart is pumping like a rabbit, for Christ's sake. I feel like I'm going to have a fucking panic attack, man. I'm serious. So cheers to all of you patriots out there. We need you. We need you. And let me tell you something, man. We need you more than ever. It's time for you all to make history. It's time for American patriots to make history. So when they write the history books, they're going to be writing about you, showing the globalists that we were not going to go quietly in that good night, that we're not going to allow these people to take control of our sovereignty, that we were not going to be fooled and manipulated into a globalist tyranny. Anyway, I got to take this shot, man. Cheers to everybody out there. This is for America. Do you understand that? This is for fucking America and the preservation of the country, America. Fuck the globalist. Fuck the globalists. Cheers, baby. Cheers, man. Anyway, folks, look. I don't know if I'm going to cover the markets today. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm going to go full 3 hours. I mean, we are at a very weird point in American history, and I just don't think we have the men that are out there that are going to protect us from this globalist specter that continues to try to take our American sovereignty, for Christ's sake. Why do you think the Democrats are so pro-open border? Why they're so pro-immigrant? Why they're pro-criminal? They want to see destabilization. They want to see it. I mean, I think that you all need to read Henry Kissinger's book. In Henry Kissinger's book, I forgot which one it was, but because he's a piece of shit himself, he's a piece of shit globalist. Every time he has a microphone in his old ass face, he's like, yes, I want globalism. I want globalism, and I want everybody to kill me. I want everybody to go out there and tell everybody this is a global order. All that shit. But he said that back when he wrote this book in the 70s, if Americans were told that UN forces were going to come in to quash any kind of uprising in, let's say, Los Angeles, they would be demanding that they, and I'm talking about the government, be removed. But Henry Kissinger said in about 10 to 20 years, they're going to be begging. They're going to be begging for UN troops to come in to save the day. And what did Kissinger mean by that? Kissinger mean by that, meaning that he would make, and not to mention everybody who's down with this globalist, anti-American, satanic order, that they were going to make things so goddamn so goddamn uncomfortable for Americans that Americans would be begging for a global order, begging for international troops to intervene, begging. And folks, I don't want that. I don't want any international troops on our soil. I don't want United Nations troops on our soil. And folks, we as Americans have to figure this shit out on our own. And as far as I'm concerned, folks, we need to advocate the end of the embracing of everything that makes up the left. Look, and I'm starting with the LGBTQ if you want my opinion, folks. And the reason I say this is because I have yet to see a majority, or at least a sizable majority of the LGBTQ act rationally. I mean, let's be honest, folks. I don't care what people do in the privacy of their own homes. We always had gay people in America. We always knew people were gay back in the 50s and 60s. Where do you think the word gay came from? Prior to homosexuals, gay used to mean happy. That's what gay used to mean. He's happy. And you see, how gays would signify that they were homosexual and either liked it up the pooper or played the flesh flute was by them acting overly happy. Like, oh, hi, how you doing? My name is Fruit Bowl, and this is how we used to talk like back in the old days. We didn't have to like tell anybody that we were homosexual and we took it up the ass and we suck cocks. We didn't have to tell anybody that. We just had to act very happy, very gay. And when anybody acted gay, that was signification. That was a signal to let everybody know that, hey, I take it up the ass crack. Hey, I suck schlong heads. But it wasn't until homosexuality turned from an isolated sexual act to a personal identity is when this whole LGBTQ shit ran amok. And it needs to be stopped at this point, folks, because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, wasn't it Martin Luther the King that said, judge someone based upon the content of their character, not whether or not they like to, service glory holes or bend over for men that have a hard schlong? I mean, I'm serious. I don't even care if you're heterosexual sluts. I don't care. I mean, what I care about when it comes to a person is whether or not they have any kind of common sense, whether or not they're intelligent, whether or not they're honest people, trustworthy people. That's what defines individuals. That's what defines who people are. Not whether or not you take it up the pooper, not whether or not you suck on schlong heads. And you see, folks, that's what the left has done. The left has equated how you like to fuck as to some kind of a political identity. I mean, folks, they have got these gays so riled up that being gay is like being a leftist, I don't know, some kind of a leftist protester or some shit. That, folks, I've told you this 1,000 times. There was a goddamn drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race that was wearing some kind of a blouse that was dyed in HIV/AIDS blood. And now she's just so proud. She's so brave. She's trying to break the stigma of HIV/AIDS because she's got a blouse dyed in HIV/AIDS blood. Folks, this has gone ridiculous. And it's time for us in civil society who want to maintain a civil society, it's time for us to start denouncing this shit. Look, you're a capitalist, man. Look, let's say you're a capitalist and you like whatever, assholes or something. You like sucking schlong. I don't care! I don't care! If you're doing it in the privacy of your own home, if you're doing it in a club that's gay and they do that type of shit, I don't care! But you know what, folks? We have protected the LGBTQ to a point in which now, remember I told you folks back in 2008, 2009, that oral copulation between two men across the street from an elementary school was not only going to be in existence at this time, that it was going to be protected by the First Goddamn Amendment. And that's what's happening. You can have homosexuals having oral copulation across the street from an elementary school, and you know what? That's not good enough for them. That's not good enough for them. No, not sucking cock across the street from an elementary school. That's not good enough for these gays. Now they want to teach your children how to suck cocks. That's what they want to do. I mean, how much more do we have to go down this fucking madness? How much more before the fucking men stand up and say, hey, faggots! Hey, fatties and uglies! What the fuck's your problem? What the fuck's your problem? I mean, you people are free to do whatever you want. You're free to hold hands and kiss each other and all this other shit in regular society without the threat of any kind of a violence inflicted upon you, and yet that's not good enough! And that's why I'm telling you, these fucking LGBTQ assholes are the first ones we need to stop acknowledging as any kind of, oh, look, he's got AIDS. Oh, look, he's got HIV. We should care about these people. Fuck that shit! You got the AIDS, you got HIV, you pay for your fucking AIDS medication on your own, for Christ's sake. I'm tired of tax-paying dollars being spent so that these fucking posholes can continue to live on. And what are they doing with their tax-funded goddamn poshole medication? They're out there at the protest with the fatties and uglies. They're out here trying to organize violent political acts. And that's why they must be stopped as far as I'm concerned. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Look, I was open-minded to these fucking gays, man. Y'all remember, I just told you a story about it. But, folks, these people have gone out of their minds because they're HIV infected, and that's the first thing that goes when you're HIV/AIDS infected is your brain. That's right, folks. I know they don't want to talk about that, but that's one of the first things that go. If you ever see an HIV/AIDS infected person at the last days of their life, they're completely out of their minds. I mean, I'm not even kidding. They're completely in psychosis. And listen, you gays brought this on yourselves. You gays brought this on yourselves. You gays can go out. You've got Grindr. You used to have Craigslist. You got all these fuck ads in which you can just put an ad up. Hi, I'm just looking to suck some cocks. You've got all this garbage out here. You're free to be as fucking sick and primal as you want, and you people are still bitching and moaning. That's why I'm saying, man, I'm tired of these fatties, uglies, and faggots. It's got to come to an end. It's got to come to an end to fucking have any kind of compassion towards any of these people anymore, because they don't have compassion towards you. They don't have any kind of compassion towards you. I mean, the faggots, they don't even have compassion for themselves. I mean, every June, they celebrate Pride Month. Oh, I have so much pride. Yeah, I got pride. How come you've got so much pride, yet all of you fuckers want to pause each other's neg holes? Huh? I mean, folks, I've seen it firsthand in Austin, Texas, where you have these HIV/AIDS infected people that are in the club that know that everybody knows they got HIV/AIDS, and yet they're going after the young piece of ass that walks into the club or walks into the bar. You know, and everybody around knows that this person's infected with the AIDS, and instead of having pride and protecting the young people that are supposedly trying to be a part of your faggotry, you allow some old poshole to infect this young person. That's the kind of pride they have in the LGBTQ. And whether they want to admit it or not, that's the fucking facts, all right? That's the fucking facts. And look, the reason I'm going off in such a vulgar capacity at this point, because that's what they're trying to go after now, folks. They're trying to go after our freedom of speech. And, you know, Tucker Carlson said it best here in a recent debate with Cenk from fucking Young Turks. He said that, look, you leftists are talking about this and that being a supposed threat to our democracy. The threat to our democracy is the freedom of speech, and how powerful entities and oligarchs like Facebook and Google have the ability to completely eliminate one's freedom of speech by not allowing them the platform to have one. And they have the ability now to carve narratives. They have the ability to suggest what people should be doing, what they should be thinking. I mean, they have way more power than the United States government, folks, and I think people need to start recognizing that the freedom of speech is truly the threat against America. Because take a look at all the damn narrative that's being carved out with these stupid bombs, supposed bombs, that were sent to the Democrats. And people try to suggest, especially those on the internet, that the mainstream media doesn't have that much power, right? But take a look at how they were able to carve out this narrative for this Jamal Khashoggi asshole. Folks, Jamal Khashoggi, I told you this, was nothing more than a CIA linked operative that helped organize the Mujahideen, which were the Arab fighters that were inspired by Khashoggi's articles to go from Syria and Arabia and Egypt and find their ways to Afghanistan so that they could fight the Russians. It was Khashoggi's articles that created the legend of Osama bin Laden. You know, it's his articles. And yet we're supposed to, like, mourn this guy? You got the mainstream media actually convincing people in America to mourn this guy as if he's some kind of a valiant hero. And you've got people doing it, folks. You've got people doing it because, I want something to virtue signal. I want to show people that, hey, I care about this, so I am more important than you are. Okay, because I care about this. You don't care about it. Huh? You're an asshole because you don't care about it. I care about it. You're a jerk. Jesus Christ, man. I'm telling you, folks, I'm so pissed off. I don't even want to do the show today, man. I'm so upset. I'm so upset, man, because there's a lot of these leftists out here, man. There's a lot of fatties, uglies, and faggots. And they think that they are right. They think, no, we're headed into the future. Okay, we can all pause each other's neg holes, and we can have universal health care. Who the hell's calling for universal health care, folks? Besides fatties, uglies, and faggots. They want free health care so they can continue to pause each other's neg hole, man. I'm tired of it, man. I'm sorry. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired. I'm just so disgusted, man. And I want to be honest with you, the reason that I want to not do the broadcast, man, is because, good God, I've been doing this broadcast for 10 years. I've fucking prognosticated what the future was going to be back in 2008 and 2009. I said the absolute pussification of the American male was going to be implemented in today's America, and what was going to cause it was single-parent families. Feminism. I was one of the first people to talk about feminism ruining our country back in 2008. And when I was saying it, people thought I was a lunatic. People thought I was insane. They were like, hey, Ghost, come on, dude. I mean, feminism? What is this, 1970s, dude? Huh? What do you think, that Gloria Steinem's going to come back and get the fuck out of here. Take a look around you right now. Take a look around you right now. Take a look around you right now. Take a look at the pussification of the American male happening right before your eyes right now. Take a look at the single-parent families that are the majority of the day right now. Take a look at what's happened to our America, folks. And I don't want to go down this direction. That's why I've been broadcasting for 10 years. And moreover, folks, that's another reason why I've never come out in the public. You want to know why? Because then it would be about, oh, Ghost and fame and fame and fame. Look at all the people. Look at all the right-wingers out there that have become right-wing celebs. It doesn't become about the cause. It becomes about them. Even Glenn Beck said it during an interview with Tucker Carlson. This was a 2016 interview. Look it up. He said that fame... This is Glenn Beck saying this during an interview with Tucker Carlson. He said, I wouldn't wish fame on my worst enemy. He said that fame will have you wanting to sell your own soul so that you can continue to have that fame. I mean, we all remember Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck was actually saying some fucking truth when he had his Fox show, remember? talking about the Federal Reserve, talking about a bunch of subjects. But then what happened? Fame came along and blew his head so big that he thought that remember, he tried to become Joel Osteen or some shit. Remember that? He was like going on tour and saying, come on to the Glenn Beck Christian tour and whatever the fuck he was doing. I mean, that's why I don't come out in public, because I want the ideas that I espouse. I want the subject matters that I espouse to be more important than whoever the fuck I am. And it's the truth. It's the truth, the ideas, the news, the information that I espouse on this broadcast is far more important than whoever the fuck I am. And some of these right-wing celebs need to figure that shit out on their own, too. Fuck who you are. It's about the ideas, you asshole. It's a battle of ideas. Even the left knows this. So wake up. Wake the fuck up. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm going full-fledged uncensored, for Christ's sake, and I'm sorry if you're getting a little bit shook because I'm calling out the fatties and uglies and faggots on the left, okay? I'm sorry if I'm putting your panties in a knot in your fucking bloody, shitty asshole because I'm exposing the fucking truth! The truth! Damn it! Christ, I'm so pissed off, man! Christ! This is a globalist attempt at trying to destabilize this, man! We're being attacked by globalists, damn it! And we need fucking nationalists! We need American men to stand up and show these faggots and shit that we're not gonna stop either! We're not gonna back down to your fucking opposition! We're not gonna back down if you globalists try to invade our country! We're not gonna back down! We're not gonna back down, damn it! Damn it! I'm tired of these fuckers! I'm fucking tired of them! We need each and every one of you men out there that are capitalists and on the right wing to stand up and tell these fatties, uglies, and faggots that, hey, you're going to have to kill all of us if you're going to take away our country, if you're going to take away our sovereignty, if you're going to sell us out to the globalists. We need you, for Christ's sake. Ah! Fuck! God damn it. God damn it. I'm so sick, man. I can't believe it. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. People out here on the internet are recognizing that this stupid little bombing crap, this supposed mail bomb, suspicious nonsense garbage is false flag. I'm glad people are starting to recognize that this is fake as hell. I mean, give me a break. Somebody, let's just say you think this is the truth. Somebody who went and took the time, effort, and energy to plant a bomb and mail it didn't have the intention for it to go off. I mean, there are several different pictures of several different bombs. None of them went off when they were taken out of the package. I mean, doesn't that kind of strike anybody as a little strange to you? Moreover, the letters, the manila envelopes that these damn bombs were supposedly mailed in, none of them have anything over the stamp portion of the manila envelope. And remember, they were reporting that supposedly all these bombs had been mailed. All these bombs were supposedly mailed through the United States Postal Service, and yet there's not any markings on the stamps signifying this. Folks, this is an attempt at trying to have an attack on our sovereignty. These are globalists. And what's not being covered while the mainstream media is talking about this? What's not being covered? I hate to keep repeating this, but by God, We are being attacked biologically. Take a look at the children that are dying right now of some mysterious illness in New Jersey, man. Take a look at the people, the kids in the Midwest that are dying and are being afflicted with some polio-like virus in the Midwest. Take a look at Cuomo calling in the National Guard in New York. Take a look at the migrant caravan that started off as a couple of hundred people. It grew to 4,000 people. Right now, folks, it's 20,000 people right now headed to the American border. You understand that we are being attacked at every fucking direction you can look by these fucking globalists. We're being attacked at every fucking goddamn position, and nobody gives a shit. Christ! God damn! And how convenient that every one of these so-called bombs that were mailed to these goddamn Democrats, it were the Democrats. It was the Democrats that were advocating violence. Remember that? It was Hillary Clinton. It's Eric Holder. It's Maxine Waters. It's CNN. It's John Brennan, the ex-CIA director from Obama. It's all these people that have been advocating violence, advocating the overthrow of our president, that have been stoking all this shit. Now, why would they throw this false flag on themselves? So they can win sympathy. And take a look at all the media now, huh? Take a look at the Democrats now. Instead of saying, hey, we have suffered an act of terror on us, we have seen an act of terror on elected officials, and we need to come together. We need to come together instead of suggesting, hey, it's fucking Donald Trump's fault. It's all Donald Trump and his followers' fault. And you know what they're doing, folks? I'm telling you, I heard it today on the news, man. They are invoking the Tea Party. That the Tea Party started all this. I heard it on today on Cavuto's show, which was, Cavuto wasn't there, it was Charles Payne. He was asking one of these Democrats, I mean, in recent time, Democrats have been advocating violence. Don't they hold some kind of responsibility on this? And this Democrat said, well, no. This type of mean, violent politics goes back to the Tea Party. Can you believe that shit? The Tea Party! The Tea Party! Anyway, folks, I'm telling you, man, we're 4 minutes into the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. Before we get started, and look, I'm just going off, folks. I'm just telling the unadulterated truth here, and I hope that some people understand that, hey, Ghost isn't bullshitting around, man. We are getting attacked. What the hell's going on with our country? Spread it around like wildfire, folks, okay? Spread the fucking show around like wildfire throughout the internets and throughout the world. The official website of the True Capitalist Radio Show is the following. Type this in your browser right now. Add this to your bookmarks. Add this to your favorites. The following. Ghost.report. Okay? That's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Ghost.report. Spread that link throughout the internets and throughout the world. Because I'm telling you, I was one of the first people banned. Banned. You know, I was banned from Facebook. Or excuse me, I never had a Facebook. I was banned from MySpace back in 2008 because I was anti-feminism. I was banned from Twitter. I was banned from Gumroad for doing any kind of transactions. I was banned from everything, and I told you all back then when I was fucking banned years ago that this was going to set a precedent. If they can ban me, they can ban each and every one of you. And everybody was just laughing at me as if I was a big fucking joke. Take a look at modern day today. Take a look at modern day today, folks. Anyway, if you want to follow me on my only social media representation on the internet, go ahead and get yourself a Gab account. And if you don't have yourself a free Gab account, get yourself one. And follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, folks, and I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room right after this broadcast, all you got to do is go to my Gab account right now and click the subscribe button for premium content. Now, just do the one that says $4.99. The $500 test one was, I don't know, I was fucking around when I was drunk or something. Don't even bother with that one. Click the subscribe button. Once you do, private message me on Gab. Let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. Now, before I get into any more of this, because, man, I am really pissed off. As you can all see, I am not just saying shit because I want to hear myself talk. I'm trying to tell people what exactly is going on here. The Democrats, which are obviously globalist, folks, you have to realize that all these people are globalists. And why do I say that? Well, let's take a look back. Hillary, Rotten, Clinton, and Bill Clinton. During Bill Clinton's administration, he was the utter sellout to the Chinese. If it hadn't have been for Bill Clinton, the Chinese would have never have gotten their stealth technology. They would have never have gotten their nuclear technology. Bill Clinton allowed the Chinese to do so. I mean, folks, I keep saying this, and the reason I keep saying this because nobody wants to believe me, okay? But Google for yourself, Bill Clinton, Los Alamos, China. And what you'll find is that some Chinese spy miraculously ended up in the nuclear facilities, the nuclear testing facilities of Los Alamos, New Mexico, and the Chinese were able to take all the nuclear secrets that we had and used it as their own. Okay? All right? Used it as their own. I mean, lest we forget that Bill Clinton, when he was president, he rented out the Lincoln bedroom inside the White House to Chinese communists for a sum of money. I mean, if you don't believe me, Google up Bill Clinton, China, Lincoln bedroom. I mean, folks, we have been sold out to China for a long period of time. A long period of time. And aside from us being sold out to China, we were also sold out to the old Saudi Arabian kingdoms. Now, before I get into this, I want you all to know that the current system right now in Saudi Arabia is not the same Saudi Arabian kingdom back during King Abdullah or King Fayed, excuse me. Those two kingdoms, the past two kingdoms, have been pro-Wahhabists, meaning that they were promoting and funding the most extreme elements of jihadism, not only within the context of the Middle East, but throughout the international community. Lest we forget, folks, that these people, I'm talking about the Saudi Arabians of old, were the ones that we always kissed ass to. Remember when George W. Bush Jr. held the hand of King Abdullah, for Christ's sake? I mean, why did we do this? Because, folks, I mean, look, I hate to bring this up, okay? Look, I know that whenever I go down this direction, people are like, Ghost, I don't want to go direction like conspiracy, and I don't want to go down this direction, and But, folks, you have to know that Saudi Arabia, as well as other elements of international government black operations, were a part of 9/11 attacks. You have to know this. Black operations within our own government, the Saudis obviously were involved, the Mossad was involved, and elements of NATO were involved in 9/11, 2001. Now, I want you all to recollect, okay, that after 9/11, let me strike that back. Let me take it back a some, because this is going to blow your socks off for those that I haven't already discussed this with. But lest we forget, during the 9/11 attacks, do y'all remember Rudolph Giuliani walking the streets in the middle of the attacks with, a mask over his face, and he had, like, all of his team with him following him? I want you all to know, folks, that Rudolph Giuliani was meant to die on the 9/11 attacks. He was meant to die. And the reason I say this, folks, is because where was the Department of Emergency Management? It was located in Building 7. And Building 7, besides World Trade Tower 1 and 2, were the buildings that fell down on their own footprint. Now, why didn't Giuliani die in the 9/11 attacks? Because of the NYPD Commissioner, Carrick. Carrick knew that something was afoot, and as a result got Giuliani out of there before anything could happen to Rudolph Giuliani. Now, why do I bring this up, folks? Because it wasn't but days later after the 9/11 attacks, at the grounds of so-called Ground Zero, in which Saudi Arabia's Al-Walid, the billionaire Saudi prince, you know, Al-Walid, look him up. Al-Walid attempted to give a $20 million check to Rudolph Giuliani in front of cameras, in front of the media. Al-Walid attempted to give a $20 million check to Rudolph Giuliani in front of Ground Zero, and you know what? Rudolph Giuliani refused to take his check, and Rudolph Giuliani refused to shake Al-Walid's hand. Now, why in the hell would you think that Rudolph Giuliani refused to shake the hands of Al-Walid and refused to take his $20 million check? Because Rudolph Giuliani knows what happened. Rudolph Giuliani knows what happened. He's just had to keep it secret because if he said anything, he'd probably end up dead. Hence, why Rudolph Giuliani is now the attorney for Donald Trump. Now, Saudi Arabia at the time of this attack, folks, was being led by King Abdullah, which was a Wahhabist from hell. And like I said, these Saudi Arabian Wahhabists were the ones that were funding the madrasas in Pakistan, which ended up inspiring the Taliban in Afghanistan. They were the ones that funded the madrasas in Indonesia. And all these heavy pockets of jihadist fighters that you see across the world, they were funded by the Saudi Arabians. I mean, they were the ones that created the Taliban. They were the ones that funded the Taliban. Now, why do I bring all this up, folks? Because right now, I want you all to know that Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince, that the current mainstream media is trying to make out as some kind of a bad, evil fucking dictator or whatever they're trying to say, he's the one that's trying to eliminate the Wahhabist faction that had these close connections with the 9/11 attacks. If you do not believe me, take a look at everybody that was a part of the Purge. Take a look at everybody that was a part of the Purge, man. Al-Walid was a part of the Purge. Do you understand me? Al-Walid was a part of the Purge. The Bin Laden family was a part of the Purge. Look, go take a look at it. Research it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Look, I just reposted a gab of a September 11th documentary that's about 8 hours long. And it goes into explicit detail on how this whole goddamn 9/11 attack was a pre-planned bunch of shit. Now, you're going to ask yourself, well, Ghost, why did they do it? Well, why don't you take a look at what has happened from then to now? It seems like we just like sucked into a new reality, doesn't it? It's like we're in a whole other realm of reality. I mean, everything has just taken a turn for the complete and utter different, hasn't it? Folks, the reason that they pulled off 9/11-2001 was to create the War of Civilizations. And the reason they wanted the War of Civilizations is so that they could justify the consolidation of global power under the New World Order globalism. I mean, folks, if you think I'm lying, okay, why don't you do your own research? What happened in 1991, September 11th, 1991? 10 years before the 9/11 attacks. Huh? What happened in 1991, September 11th, 1991, what happened? It's when George Bush Sr. announced the New World Order to Congress. And if you don't believe me, take a look on YouTube. Put on George H.W. Bush, search George H.W. Bush New World Order. That's what happened on September 11th, 1991. George Bush Sr. announced the New World Order. So, folks, I'm just letting you all know that these globalists, if they were the ones, and they are, that spawned and created and did the false flag operation of 9/11, they are not beneath doing something even more devastating and terrifying than that. And I'm telling you all right now what Donald Trump has done. Donald Trump has literally thrown a monkey wrench into this globalist order and their attempt at taking over our country and them consolidating power into a globalist structure. I mean, that's why did y'all hear the last speech from the president in Texas? He called out globalists by name. He goes, I'm not a globalist. I don't like globalism. I'm a nationalist. And folks, I have always advocated on this broadcast that the only way that a revolution was going to start and be successful against these powers that be is if somebody started a revolution from the top down. And thank God Donald Trump had the resources, the energy, and the balls necessary to be able to confront this globalist New World Order in the capacity that he has. And that's why I keep telling each and every one of you all, this battle for America is between those of us that want America to continue to sustain itself until the end of time and those that want to put America's head on a platter and consolidate the power of America into a globalist system. And I know people don't want to hear that. I know people want to continue playing their video games and continue watching their televisions and, continue to do this. And I know that. But, folks, you at some point have to wake up and realize that the only way you're going to sustain your way of life is you're willing to put your life on the line for it. And without those of us that can literally fight against this globalist specter that has been trying to take over this world for the past 100 to 150 years, then we are doomed to be serfs to this system. And I refuse to be a serf to a fucking bureaucratic globalist system. Do you understand? What makes these globalists so important to be proprietors over our lives on a global scale? I'm telling you, folks, I know that this is a lot of news I'm telling you, folks, and, listen, I'm not just telling you what it is. I'm even trying to show you where you can prove it to yourself. Now, aside from the Saudi Arabians being a part of 9/11/2001, and aside from them aiding, and look, if you don't believe me, Jesus Christ, take a look at the guys that were trying to give the PR for Saudi Arabia right after 9/11/2001. Remember Prince Bandar? Prince Bandar was all over CNN. He was all over every talking head media at the time trying to say that, bin Laden was trying to frame Saudi Arabia, etc. And guess what? Prince Bandar was the head of Saudi intelligence. And guess what he was always also known as? Bandar Bush. He was known as Bandar Bush because why? Him and Bush Sr. were attached at the hip. As a matter of fact, Prince Bandar would come to the Bush family's home during the holidays. They'd go on vacation together. And not just Prince Bandar, the Bin Ladens. The Bin Ladens also took vacations with the fucking Bushes. I mean, do you know, folks, that on 9/11/2001, there was a Carlyle group, and I think you all should look into the Carlyle group because they're way more powerful than you people can imagine. But a Carlyle group, which is nothing more than an investment group of people, which happens to involve the Bush family and the Bin Laden family, etc. Did you know that the Carlyle group was meeting at a business meeting on 9/11/2001? And as a result, the Bin Ladens and Bush Sr. were there as this damn terrorist attack was going on. Look it up. Look up Carlyle Group, Bush, Bin Laden, 2001, 9/11. Look it up. I know all this shit. Somebody on Gab is asking me right now, so what was the point for the 1993 World Trade Center bombings? Do you understand that Bill Clinton, during his tenure, was trying to bring down the United States and trying to bring in the globalist system himself? All right? I mean, the World Trade Center attacks in 1993 was intended to bring down those towers. I mean, lest we forget that the Arabs, Ramzi Youssef, and the other guys who were, they were inspired by the Blind Sheikh. Remember the Blind Sheikh? The Blind Sheikh just recently died, by the way, but he inspired, supposedly, these guys to bring down the World Trade Center. Now, the reason that they attempted to do it, because they wanted 9/11 to happen back then. That's why they planted bombs underneath the goddamn World Trade Center. And you know what? Even though they planted these huge fucking bombs in these huge trucks and vans, it was I mean, they tried to bring it down. They failed. And I want to tell you again, they attempted it again. I'm talking this government. They attempted it many times during Bill Clinton's tenure. I don't think that you people realize how dangerous Bill Clinton was for our goddamn country. I mean, let's not forget that it was Bill Clinton himself that ordered the absolute shooting and burning of the Branch Davidians. Remember that? Huh? The Branch Davidians, David Koresh. Remember that? And the reason I say that, folks, is because back then there was a huge militia movement. Conveniently, it was all decimated after that Waco incident, but the militias always said that the precedent that was set by the ATF going into the Branch Davidians' private property and attempting to raid and shoot people, and not just that, they burned these people alive. That precedent meant that the government can come onto your property and kill you at any time. That was a major precedent. Then, lest we forget, right after that, we had Ruby Ridge. Y'all remember Ruby Ridge? Oh, how quick we forget all these things. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And then, let's not forget the Oklahoma City bombing. The Oklahoma City bombing, folks, if you believe that those two morons that they got supposedly, I forgot their fucking names there, McVeigh and the other fucking schmuck. If you think that they were the ones that pulled it off, you're an idiot. All right? That was meant to take down that particular building, but it only blew half of it up. And the reason they're doing this, folks, is because they've been trying to take our Constitution away from us. That's what they've been trying to do on an incremental basis. They've been trying to take away our goddamn rights. And once they take away our rights, we have no more America. Once they take away our Constitution, they have no more America. So that's why I'm telling everybody right now, folks, I mean, don't believe what you see, okay? Because there's always motives for all these so-called terrorist acts out here. And look, I'm looking right now in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. There's more explosives that have been found. Members of the ATF's Los Angeles Field Division and the LAPD headquarters are responding to a suspicious package similar to today's investigations. The item was located by postal inspectors in South Central LA. Didn't I just say why and how these goddamn things got through postal inspections? Give me a break with this crap. Anyway, look, I don't mean to get into all these conspiracies, folks, but you have to admit that they have been trying to take away our rights for a long, long time. A long time. And it's time for us to recognize that we have to either fight back or submit to the totalitarianism on a global scale that these people want to implement. They don't want any remnants of freedom anywhere in the world. These globalists are a bunch of totalitarian freaks, folks. I mean, I keep telling you, what's their objective, right? What do these people want? They want power. They want to control everything in the world. They want to control everything. They want to be in charge of everything. They want to account for everything. They want to do everything. They are totalitarian freaks. I mean, I keep telling you guys, like, you see Shark Week, right? And they always show some fucking celebrity trying to catch sharks with so-called scientists. And then once they catch the shark, what do? They put some fucking monitoring device on its goddamn fin. Why are they doing that?
Oh, Ghost, you're just, you're getting shit out of hand, dude. They're just doing that for science, dude. They're doing that for science. No, they're not. They're trying to take count for everything on this planet. Do you understand? I mean, haven't we talked about before, folks, about the communist and the dialectic materialism that they want to enforce upon the goddamn world, for Christ's sake? They want to be in charge of everything. They want to know everything. They want to know everything. Good God, folks. I mean, listen. If you only knew what I knew, and I'm only telling you a little bit of it because I don't think you can handle the truth, man. I don't think people can handle the truth. And why do I think people can't handle the truth? Because look at how goofy most people fall for the narrative from some talking head on the damn boob tube, for Christ's sake. Look at how much influence fucking Don Lemon and Rachel Maddow, a bunch of posholes, have over the American people, for Christ's sake. I mean, these people, I wouldn't doubt. I mean, let me tell you, I don't know if these people are HIV positive or not, but let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest here for a second. Do you think that somebody who is an AIDS HIV activist, do you think that they're that because they could possibly be a part or have the disease themselves? Both of these people are AIDS HIV activists. And in my personal opinion, going back to the LGBTQ thing, folks, I mean, once they become posholes, they don't care about anybody. They want to bring as many people down with them. That's why I would never listen to anybody who is homosexual again. Anybody who tries to come out and say, hey, I'm a gay man. Hey, I'm a lesbo. I don't care. Why don't you keep that to yourself? And why don't you define yourself based upon the content of your character? But no, they want you to know this. And I'm telling you, folks, they are doing nothing but trying to bring us down. And they're trying to bring us down because they themselves are already gone. Their lives are already dead. Let me have another shot, for Christ's sake, man. I got to get another shot, man. Anyway, look, I'm going to do this free format. If you all have any questions, by all means, if you're in the chat room, go ahead and ask a question. If you're listening to me and you're on Gab, go ahead and gab at me, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores. If you have any questions that you want to discuss here, because I'm making this free format, man, I will answer your questions, for Christ's sake, because, folks, this is serious business, and I think people need to recognize what's going on, man. And if you don't want to recognize it, if you want to go and say, Ghost, you're a conspiracy theorist, dude. What are you talking about, man? I'm going to keep playing video games. I'm going to keep watching movies. I'm going to keep waxing my carrot to cartoons, dude. You're a fucking moron. You're a fucking waste of life, and you're already dead. You're already dead, man. Give me a fucking shot, for Christ's sake. There we go, man. Fucking shots, man. I wish I had beer, but I'm trying to limit myself, but it's hard, man. It's hard to limit yourself when you're living this fucking life and looking at the fucking disgusting reality that it is. It's disgusting. It's a goddamn disgusting reality. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me go ahead and shoot this shot. And once again, if you have any questions that you want to discuss, let's go ahead and take a couple of questions. Whether it's on Gab or in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I'm going to go ahead and answer whatever questions you want, because I know that there's a lot of things to discuss out here. And people, I know you're confused, man. I know you guys are out there saying, man, why do these people want to do this? Because they're sick. You understand? They're sick and they're evil. Now, I don't even want to tell you the evil part of it all, because That'll freak you all out even more. Somebody's asking when should we expect a full-fledged civil war. Folks, it ain't going to go down like that. It isn't going to go down. By the time anyone wants to go into a civil war, they're going to have this whole goddamn country on lockdown. I mean, hence, why do you think Cuomo, who claims that he also got something delivered to his stupid fucking office or his home or whatever, why do you think he's bringing in the National Guard? I mean, that's technically martial law, folks. Bringing in the National Guard to guard the, quote, streets or whatnot. Jesus Christ, man. And look, I mean, it's a fake bomb. I'm glad people are going over this, and it's a fake-ass bomb, for Christ's sake. All right? Because, you know, I mean, supposedly there was a timer on one of these bombs. I'm looking at it. There was a timer. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. I mean, then what is that supposed to mean? There was a timer on the bomb. Folks, I'm going to be honest with you. If this bomb was intended to do what the Unabomber did, because the Unabomber, I'm going to be honest with you. What the Unabomber did, he would have to construct a bomb in which once it was opened, that's when the bomb would explode. To do that, folks, you have to have some igniter of the actual explosive itself. Some spark to ignite the explosion so that the shrapnel and everything around the explosive can explode. Now, to do that with this horrible attempt at a fake pipe bomb here, you would have had to have had a battery. And not only any kind of battery, a battery that could last long enough so that it could last the mailing process, the processing process at the United States Postal Service, and the delivery. And once the wire that is going to ignite the spark, which is going to explode the explosive, goes off because it's attached to, I don't know, some opening, something's got to trigger it, that's when the battery triggers the goddamn explosion. There's no battery on this shit. I'm looking at it right now. There's a fucking timer on it, for Christ's sake. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Let me go ahead and take this shot, for Christ's sake, man. Let me go ahead and shoot this shot. Cheers to everybody out there who's a true American. Cheers to everybody out there who's an American patriot, etc. You know what I mean? Cheers, baby. Cheers. I tell you, I wish I had some beer. I wish I had some goddamn beer. Anyway, folks, look, I know I've gone through a lot of subject matters on this broadcast, and I do want to tell everybody that, look, they're going to continue to do this. That's why you should question everything. You should question everything. Don't just sit back and assume that what you see on TV is real. Unless you see it for yourself in real life, and even then, you may have to look, give it a second take, etc. I have no idea. I don't know. I've got somebody here asking me some questions here. What do you think of Governor Larry Hogan in Maryland? He'll likely be reelected, but he wrote in his dad in the 2016 election, and he approved a bill that mandates funding for Planned Parenthood. Well, give me a break. I mean, you know, that's already an ass crack that you don't want as in charge of anything. You know? I mean, anybody that claims to be right-wing and funds Planned Parenthood is a sick maniac. All right? Yeah, people are asking a timing device on a pipe bomb. You're exactly right. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's a bunch of garbage. It's a bunch of garbage. Somebody's asking me here, seems the youth and the young are full of ignorance and fall into the category of burn victims, you know, Bernie Sanders. What is the best way to approach these morons and show them that the Democrats don't give a fuck about them and that conservatism and capitalism is the best for them and their families? They got to find out for themselves, man. Because remember, the whole objective of leftism working is there's two sides of leftism. There are people that know what's going on and know that all these virtue signals and all this portrayal of multicultural, all this is just a sham so that they can achieve power. And then you've got the dummies of leftism, which have now, and let me tell you, this has become a massive phenomena, in which people now believe that they are somebody because they virtue signal. And the media has now become a virtue signaling manufacturing bunch of garbage, so that people can say, oh, look, there's an innocent journalist in Khashoggi that was dead. Oh, R.I.P. Khashoggi. Justice for Khashoggi. Hey, I care about Khashoggi, okay? He was a journalist, and he was killed by Saudi Arabia. And you know what? Donald Trump should do something to Saudi Arabia. Oh, my God. And look at it. Here we go again. Breaking. Feds frantically trying to track down missing package addressed to former Vice President Joe Biden, believed to be connected to the FBI investigation. Oh, give me a fucking break. How much more obvious is this? Oh, Joe Biden. Oh, Maxine Waters. Oh, Eric Holder. Oh, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Oh, Obama. Oh, CNN. Oh, fucking Cuomo. Oh, Kamala Harris. I mean, come on, for Christ's sake. Are we supposed to believe this shit? Are we supposed to believe this garbage? I mean, come on. Give me a break. This is a fucking false flag in an attempt to win sympathy to the Democrats. And you know what? The Democrats that are being so-called targeted by this false flag were all the ones advocating violence. Haven't you noticed that? Right before the election, this right here was all the Democrats who were advocating violence, get in their faces, kick them while they're down. I mean, give me a freaking break. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. How much? I mean, now Joe Biden now, wasn't Joe Biden that threatened to kick the president's ass? Oh, that's very stately of him, right? They're always talking about Trump's tone. I don't like his tone. I don't like the way he talks. You know, I don't like his tone. Now, listen, folks, if you believe this, you're an idiot, all right? If you believe this false flag, you're an utter moron. Because that's what it's intended to do. It's intended to make you believe that, oh, man, poor Democrats, look at them. It's the evil Trumpers. It's the Trump supporters. I mean, give me a fucking break, man. I'm so sick of this crap. And not to mention, we lost the package addressed to Biden. What the hell does that mean? I mean, come on. You lost the package? I mean, give me a break. Oh, sorry, we lost the package to Joe Biden. Of course, nothing's going to happen to Joe Biden. Give me a break. But come on, we lost it. We lost the package to Joe Biden. Get the fuck out. Give me another shot. Good God. And people are believing this, folks. I'm not even kidding. People are believing this shit. I'm not even joking around. Jesus Christ. People are believing this. Oh. People are actually believing it, for Christ's sake, man. Anyway, here. Jesus Christ, man. I'm sorry, folks, that I'm going so off-keister, but I mean, I can see what the hell's going on here. Somebody on Gab is asking me about the NPC meme. Well, I mean, come on, man. I want to be honest with you. I think some of these memes that are being created are done so on purpose, so it can create a docile environment amongst those that are advocating pro-Trump or pro-right-wing political stances on the internet. It kind of makes them docile and continue to play their video games, instead of being as vigorous as many of those on the internet were back in 2016. Now, and I also want to be perfectly honest with you, folks. I mean, the NPC meme is basically another method to clear out anyone who is going to go against this certain speech guidelines that is now being advocated on the left. This safe space, my feelings are hurt type of bullshit that is literally being advocated and championed by the left. And that's all the NPC meme is, as far as I'm concerned. It's another way to try to curb our speech. And I'm telling you, I think that's what most people should be concerned about right now. They should be concerned about speech on the internet, because these fucking oligarchs, these Googles, these Facebooks, the Twitters, I mean, these people are legitimately trying to eliminate any kind of not only opposition now, but any methods in which you are going to agitate those that are potentially on, quote, their side on the left. So that's what I think about the NPC meme. I think that at this point in time, it's not on the level of Pepe the Frog. It's more if you want my opinion, a method of the left for continued censorship. And that's my opinion on that. I'm not even kidding around. All right? I'm not kidding. I mean, now you can literally be banned from Twitter, you can be banned from Facebook, you can be banned from Google by sporting this NPC meme. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, folks, the NPC meme is a non-playable character in the gaming context. And, of course, once again, we're going back to gaming, aren't we? Huh? Going back to gaming. And non-playing character are characters in the background that are insignificant to the game itself and are typically pictured as lifeless, kind of soulless, robotic human beings, so to speak. And they have, and I'm talking about the internet culture, they have somehow correlated this NPC meme in referencing, you know, your social justice warriors, your people on the left. And supposedly now, a mere picture of something that is depicting feels, really. It looks like feels, but a little different. A picture, and this is not like a real picture. This is like shitty artwork. All right, this is like shitty Microsoft Paint artwork that depicts so-called social justice warriors, left-wingers, feminists, etc. This is now dehumanizing, according to those that are banning those that are embracing the NPC meme. But once again, I continue to say that it's just one more small step for eliminating free speech. That's what that is, man. It's just one more small step for eliminating free speech. Anyway, I'm going to continue to take questions here. I don't know if I'm going to go into the third hour, because I am so pissed off right now. I'm so upset, and I got to calm down. All right, I got to really calm down a little bit. I'm suffering through all kinds of health shit I don't really want to get into. So I want to say cheers once again to everybody who's listening to the broadcast, and that's why I try to tell every one of you, spread this broadcast around like wildfire, okay? You all know at this point that have been listening to me, I don't care what you do with the broadcast. You all can post it everywhere. You can post it on YouTube. I don't care. But I would strongly advise you all to do so that people that are just happen to be cruising the internet, happen to be kind of cruising whatever social media, come across it and start gathering true political substance, the straight political dope that is conducted on this broadcast on a constant basis. On a constant basis. Anyway, I want to say cheers to each and every one of you who listen to this broadcast. Without you, I would not be doing this broadcast. I don't care how many people are listening, whether it's thousands, whether it's hundreds, whether it's 10 people. I don't give a shit, man. I hope that the ideas espoused on this broadcast inspire you to understand that without individuals that are willing to have the balls and the intelligence to do something, we are going to continue down this path of totalitarian globalism. So anyway, cheers, baby. Cheers to everybody out there. This is shot number 3. And look, I wish it was beer, but you know how it is. Cheers, man. That feels better. Anyway, folks, somebody's asking me a question here. What do I think about Eric Harris and Derek Klebold? Well, I don't really have much to say about them, to be honest with you. I think that their parents should have been charged with some kind of a crime, that's for sure. I think their parents should be charged with some kind of a crime. Did you know that Dylan Klebold's mother, do you know that she's out there now giving speeches at schools now because, my son shot up a lot of people, even though it was under my house and under my roof, and they were building bombs and had all kinds of guns in their rooms. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. So that's what I think about Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. I think their fucking parents should be charged with something. You know, and mind you, do y'all remember the Columbine shootings? Remember, there was a lot of different nuances to that shooting than your traditional false flag of today. I mean, you know, whenever there's a false flag mass shooting that happens, I always talk about that there's a bunch of cops, they have a perimeter, you know, they have a perimeter around the so-called shooting. There's no sense of urgency. It's a bunch of cops laughing and, you know, talking about the beer they're going to have after all this. No sense of urgency whatsoever, but that wasn't the case in the Columbine shootings. In the Columbine shootings, nobody knew what the hell was going on. Kids were trying to get out the window after being wounded, for Christ's sake. That was a real shooting. And moreover, folks, I go back to that Dallas shooting. Y'all remember Dallas, in which a Black Lives Matter inspired individual decided to take a fully automatic weapon and decided to start killing cops in the downtown streets of Dallas. Do y'all remember that? Oh, there was a major sense of urgency at that point. There was not a perimeter being cordoned off, right? There was no bunch of perimeters of a bunch of cops that are out here no, you didn't see that. As a matter of fact, cops were so scared of one guy who was military trained, by the way. One black guy with a fucking fully automatic weapon. They were scared. They couldn't even send a cop in to fucking shoot this guy. Remember, they shot him with a robot. They shot that guy with a robot. You remember? But we're supposed to believe like Pulse nightclub and, you know, the fucking Parkland shootings, which are all a bunch of crap, man. I mean, just all you have to do is open your eyes and realize what's going on, man, and say, wait a minute, how come there's no sense of urgency if there's a mass shooting going on? You know, how come there's no mass shooting? And every time there's a triage during these mass shootings, and when I mean triage, I'm talking about like, you know, some ambulance set up triage. There's never any blood with these people, you know? You're getting shot to death, right, by somebody with a gun, and yet none of these people ever have any massive amounts of blood. Haven't y'all noticed that? Give me a fucking break. Anyway, let's take another question here. Ghost, it seems like everyone is against us. Pop culture, the media, Hollywood, big music, big gay, corporate HR, the USCCB, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, Christianity, etc. 95% of the people I work with are leftist. Will this ever change course? Believe me, I want you all to remember that our forefathers, the men who created this country, who accorded the Bill of Rights, not defined by them, defined and given to us by God, they were but 10% of the population. I think they were even lower than that in some percentages that I've been reading about. But either way, they were a small percentage of the actual population of America. But we need dedicated people. We need people that are going to live for more than themselves. We need people that are selfless and understand that whatever they do, and they do it for the cause, that they're helping the perpetuation and the continuity of something that has never been brought on this earth before. You have to realize that what America has been going through, what America is something that is unlike anything else in the world. We are the bastions of freedom. We have the freedom of speech. We have the freedom of expression. I mean, folks, I have been on here for 10 years, critical of governments, critical of our government, And yet I continue to say here and I continue to talk against the government because we have the freedom of speech, man. We have the freedom of speech. There's no freedom of speech anywhere in the world, folks. I mean, I have had people leave the inner circle from Europe because they're afraid to be affiliated with my group. They're afraid that they're going to get a visit by European authorities because they're listening to me, and I am anti-European Union. I am anti-fucking Remain of the UK. I am anti these people, and that's why they're afraid. They know that their internet is being monitored. They know that authorities can go to their home if they're critical of their migrant crisis in Europe, if they're critical of their government. I mean, that's why they're trying to get rid of America, folks. They don't want freedom for us. And that's what I'm saying to this individual who's asking, hey, it seems like everybody's against us. They're not, man. It just seems that way based upon the media. And remember, it's taken us at least a good 50 to 60 years for all of us to be programmed. By what? By what? Television programming. Why do you think they call television programming? We have been programmed to believe that we should aspire to be a star. Aspire to be a star. Huh? Aspire to be a star. I mean, that's all anybody wants to be anymore. Nobody wants to produce anything. Nobody wants to invent anything. Nobody wants to find cures for anything. No, I want to be a rap star. I want to be a YouTube star. I want to be a movie star. It's all anybody wants to be. I want to be a social media star. That's all anybody wants to be. They want to produce something that gives them something, that inflates their ego, that fulfills their attention whoredom. That's all anybody wants to do. And that's where the problem is. When you have a population that worships media, that worships media stars, that worships anyone with any kind of grand attention, this is what the culmination of that is. That's why it seems like everybody is against us. That's why pop culture. Why is pop culture against us? Because, folks, in communism, who is secure in communism? The actors, the artists, those that are pro-regime. That's why the most important people under the communist regimes are the artists that are sanctioned by communists. They have more power than anybody else because they are the ones that influence society. So that's why you have pop culture. That's why you have the TV folks. That's why you have everybody in entertainment on the side of the left, because if they take power, they think they're going to be in charge of influencing those of us that are just schmucks in their communist or socialist society. You take a look at the media, well, of course the media is going to be against us because they believe, just like in every communist regime, they're going to be the propagandists, they're going to be employed, they're going to be taken care of by the communist government, etc. Hollywood, the same thing. You notice all this has to do with influencing people. And that's why communists and leftists and socialists are advocating this at these levels. Because they believe they're going to be in charge. It's not about money for these people anymore. It's about power. It's about ruling over people's lives. It's about dictating how people live, how they live, what they eat, what they drink, what they wear, how much they have. That's what this is all about. I know it's very hard for some of us to accept that. Are you kidding me, Ghost? That's all the leftists are about. They just want, power. They're just a bunch of totalitarian freaks. Yes! Yes! That's what this is all about, folks. They don't want to see anybody happy in this world. They're not happy. You notice that the only time leftists are happy is when other people are hurt, other people are killed, that they deem are not a part of them, are not a part of them. I'm just saying, folks. I mean, people need to start waking up and realizing what's going on out here. It's not the fact that all these people are against us. It's the fact that these people have the influence right now under our society. They have an influence. And they think that their influence, by helping the so-called powers that are trying to take over our country, they will have a seat in the seat of power that takes control of America. That's why it seems like pop culture, the media, big Hollywood, big music, big gay, corporate America, that's why they all seem like they're turning against us. That's all I'm saying, man. Anyway, we got about 3 minutes left in this second hour, and I want to be honest with you, man. I'm just so pissed off right now, man. And the reason I'm so pissed off is because look at what these globalists are doing, and yet there's still enough people that believe this for them to continue on with this charade. Oops, we lost the package that was supposed to be delivered to Joe Biden. We don't know where it is. Get the fuck out of here. And of course, folks, you have to know that this bombing, this mail bombing garbage is a false flag, because if it wasn't, you would think that people would put politics aside and say, hey, this is an attack on our so-called democracy, on our republic, or whatever the hell they say, and said this is not about politics, we need to denounce this, blah, blah, blah. They don't say that. I mean, the first goddamn comments out of Chuck Kick the American People in the Balls Schumer and Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi was, this is all Trump's fault. This is all Trump's fault. This is all his rhetoric. This is all his dangerous rhetoric. This is all his fault. You're seeing that all across the board on the left at this point. You even got people on Twitter suggesting that and I'm not kidding. This is on Twitter right now. You got people advocating killing people with red MAGA hats because, this is it. They're attacking our leaders. They're attacking Hillary Clinton and Eric Holder and Barack Obama and CNN. We should shoot anybody with a red MAGA hat. We should start shooting them right now. God damn it. They're saying that on Twitter right now. You got faggots, uglies, and fatties saying that on Twitter right now. That's what this is all about. You know that, folks, right? This is all about inspiring civil unrest. Because, folks, I want to be honest with you, they don't mind if this goddamn country goes into a civil war. They want that. They want civil unrest. Because you have to understand, folks, the only way that you can take over a country is not only by force, but you've got to convince enough of the people in that country that you are a better alternative. I mean, that's why they call politics a science, a political science. Remember, political science means that you, as an entity, a government, an individual, have enough influence over the perceptions of the populace that puts you in control, that puts you in power. That's what political science is all about, is being able to captivate the perceptions of a mass geopolitical populace so that you can obtain power. And you see, they want something to happen. They want civil unrest because, let's just say for the sake of argument, that in 2 or 3 leftist cities, that a bunch of crazy leftists decide to take a bunch of guns and a whole bunch of people and start literally holding city halls hostage. You know what the president is going to do? He's going to send in the military. And when he sends in the military, that's when the left and this fucking media and all these people are going to say, you see? Look, I told you Trump was a dictator. I told you, look at him. He's got the military going after American citizens. Look at him. He's a dictator. He needs to be removed. He's throwing the American military on American people. You know that's what they want. They want Trump to put the military on the border and eventually start shooting people because there is a mass raid on our border, so that these leftists can say, you see? Look, I told you Trump was a killer. He was a dictator. He hates children. He hates women. Look, I told you. This is what this is all about, folks. That's why they keep agitating in these capacities. And really, folks, they don't care about the country, man. Do you understand? This goddamn fucking Democrat Party doesn't care about this country. I mean, all you have to do is look at the proof of their actions. They're anti-borders. And like the president said, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. They are pro-illegal immigrant. And why are they pro-illegal immigrant? Because they're trying to eliminate the identity of America. That's why. They are pro-criminal. Why are they pro-criminal? Because they want these guys to destabilize cities so it justifies their continuous incremental growth of bureaucracy. And when you have never-ending incremental growth of bureaucracy, you eventually have a communist or socialist system. That's what this is all about, folks. I think people need to start recognizing that. People need to open up their eyes and realize that. Jesus Christ, I wish I had some fucking beer! Anyway, folks, look, I'm going to take a couple of questions. We're already in the third and final hour. I don't know if I think I'm going to get off here in a couple, man. I got to kick back, man. I'm going to kick back in the True Capitalist Radio chat room or something a little bit, but I just can't believe that we're headed down this direction, and there's not enough of us out here that are this vocal. Anyway, folks, once again, the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire. Okay? Spread this show link around like wildfire, and let everybody you know across the internet and throughout the world, let them all know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And once again, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas U.S. time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Ghost.report is the website, folks. That's all you got to tap in your browser. You got to type in your browser right now. Ghost.report. And by the way, if you want to follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, go ahead and do so. Follow me on Gab. Get yourself a free Gab account, folks, and follow me under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab, folks. And once again, if you want to add yourself to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you got to do is go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and then private message me back on Gab, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, etc. Anyway, folks, I'm going to take a couple more questions here, and I'm going to get the hell off. All right, I'm going to get the hell out of here because, I mean, I'm spent. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm being drained of energy, for Christ's sake, and because I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because there's not enough of us. There's not enough of us that are vocal. Not enough of us that are fearless. Not enough of us that are actually going to go out there and completely stop this goddamn fucking leftist madness. I mean, seriously, we need more of us. We need men. We need women out there that are saying, look, we don't want this crap. We don't want your globalism. We don't want you to eliminate our Bill of Rights. We don't want you to eliminate our Constitution. We are proud of being a bastion of freedom of the world. We're proud of this. You're not going to turn us against us. And that's why I'm telling each and every one of you, man, It's time for us to start vehemently hating all these fucking leftist pieces of trash. Because, folks, it's not like these leftists, they are still pro-America. They want the best for America, even though we may disagree on the method of getting there. They don't like America, folks. Everything they've advocated has been anti-America. Everything they advocate is anti-America. Pro-illegal immigrants. Pro-open borders. Pro-crime. Pro-sexualization of children. That's all they care about, folks. You need to realize this. This is not a Democratic Party that wants to see the best of America. This is not a Democratic Party that wants to see America flourish. This is not a Democratic Party that wants to see American people flourish. As a matter of fact, these Democrats hate America. They hate the fact that we're a superpower. They hate to see people that are prosperous in this country. They hate it. They don't believe that we should be a superpower. They believe that the prosperity that people are witnessing today is not deserving of the people. That's what they believe. That's what motivates all their actions. And like I said, folks, if you're going to believe this false flag that was conducted today, you're an idiot. You're an absolute moron. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, once again, that you do believe it, and you do believe that these bombs were intentionally mailed to these Democrats. First of all, why didn't any of them go off? Remember, they opened the package. They pulled out the bomb. It should have went off. Why are these things, these bombs made of PVC pipe, plastic? Why does one of them have a timer on it? Why are the envelopes that are pictured next to the bombs, why do they have no postage on the stamp area? How come the stamp area looks as though it never went through any kind of mail facility through the post offices? I mean, and folks, let's be honest. Even if you do believe it, don't you think that the people that are supposedly receiving these so-called bombs, don't you think that many of them brought it on themselves? If you believe this crap. I mean, these are all the characters that have been advocating violence for the past 6 to 8 months. You notice every single one of these Democrats that have been advocating violence supposedly got one of these stupid bombs. I mean, Maxine Waters, Eric Holder, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, CNN got one, John Brennan. Now, supposedly, they lost the one that was addressed to Joe Biden or some shit. I mean, come on, man. You have to realize that this is a false flag with the intention of trying to gain sympathy for these Democrats who were advocating violence. They themselves were advocating this violence. And what is not being covered amidst all this stupid, dumb media coverage into this ridiculous false flag? What isn't being covered? We're being attacked on every single level by these globalists, folks. We're being biologically attacked, for Christ's sake. Once again, the kids that are dying and are sick of some weird ailment out there in New Jersey. The kids that are being afflicted in the Midwest with some mystery polio-like illness. The caravan that's approaching our United States border that has now amassed 20,000 people. That's an invasion of our border. The fact that Cuomo, who claimed, the fucking governor of New York, who claimed that he himself got one of these so-called bombs in the mail, he's now called in the National Guard. So, folks, I think people need to realize what's really going on here. And we need to start recognizing that we're not going to be fooled by this garbage. That we're smarter than this garbage. You're not going to pull the wool over our eyes with these false flags anymore. And if you want us to believe that you got mailed a bomb, well, with all due respect, you Democrats were the ones that were advocating violence. How come? I mean, you know, the only person that has posed that is Charles Payne, who filled in for Neil Cavuto today, and posed that towards a Democrat that, hey, look, it's been the Democrats as of late that have been advocating this kind of violence What do you have to say about it? This fucking Democrat went out and tried to blame the Tea Party in 2010 as the creator of this type of politics. Can you believe this? The Tea Party! The fucking Tea Party they tried to blame. So anyway, folks, look, I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast here, okay? I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here in about 30 minutes. I got to get the hell out of here. And the reason I got to get the hell out of here is because I want everybody to go and do their own research on everything that I said here today. I'd like for you all to take a look at that 9/11 documentary that I just reposted right now on my Gab, Politics Ghost. Take a look at that. It's about 8 hours or so. Take a look at that. It's called The New Pearl Harbor. Why do they call it the New Pearl Harbor? Well, folks, the people that constructed the 9/11 attacks on paper was a group of people called the Project for a New American Century, PNAC. And by the way, one of those people that belonged to PNAC and that signed the document, the Project for a New American Century, Billy Crystal, or Bill Crystal with a K, I'm not talking about the actor, Bill Crystal with a K, he's now tweeted, and the tweet is, let me see if I can find the tweet in the history, but the tweet that he posted will make you fucking sick to your goddamn stomach. And remember, Bill Crystal with a K, this was the guy that tried to run some CIA agent. Remember Evan McMullen or McMuffin or whatever the hell his name was? Y'all remember that? He was the guy that tried to run Evan McMuffin to oppose Donald Trump's presidency in 2016. This man, Bill Crystal with a K, he was a part of the PNAC document, the Project for a New American Century. I mean, come on, man. You all have to know. You have to know what's going on here. Now, let me look at this tweet here. I'm trying to find it here. Give me a couple of minutes, or a couple of seconds, I should say. Here it is, right here. Bill Crystal, October 23rd, 2018, at 7:49 a.m. Very early. He said, "Hondurans are no danger to our freedoms, our democracy, or our well-being. We are. We are." Did you hear that? This is Bill Crystal, who was trying to defy our rights to elect our leaders by trying to hire, or I don't know what he did with Evan McMuffin, the CIA agent, to run against Trump. I mean, this Bill Crystal has made a lot of threats against Trump. This is the guy, a part of the Project for a New American Century. Now, why do I bring up the Project for a New American Century? In that, they talk about how they needed a new Pearl Harbor so that they can create the War of Civilizations. And guess who was a part of the Project for a New American Century? Dick Cheney, George Bush, all these fucking guys, man. All these guys. Look it up for yourself. Look up PNAC, Project for a New American Century, and read the document. Read all their signatures, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's why this documentary that I just posted on my Gab, check out my Gab right now, Politics Ghost, that's why it's called the New Pearl Harbor. That's why. And these people have the audacity to sit here and try to make themselves out to be the victims. They're the ones that have been perpetuating terrorism on us. I mean, look, one more thing, just to let y'all know that people are asking me, where did the Mossad, where's the Mossad in this whole equation with 9/11/2001, Ghost? How do you know the Mossad was involved? Folks, the only buildings that went down were owned by a man named Larry Silverstein. Okay? Larry Silverstein made billions of dollars in an insurance policy for the towers going down. Okay? And of course, Larry Silverstein is Jewish with a dual citizenship with America and Israel. And the only buildings that went down were ones that were owned by him. Look it up. Anyway, folks, look, I've said a lot here, and I know people are probably wanting to go do their own research and, research some of the things that I've suggested on this broadcast. But I'm telling you, I haven't even told you the scratch of the surface. If you knew the truth, you would be drinking every day like I am, man. If you knew the truth, it would be hard for you to wake up every fucking day, okay? Every day in this fucking place. It would hurt to wake up every morning knowing the evil reality of the current state of our country. Look, man, I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off keister. I know that I've gone off my typical format here. I know that people are used to, me talking about the markets and talking about the international community. And, folks, we are in a situation. We're in a situation where we have to start taking things serious. We can no longer resort to turning off our periphery and just playing our fucking video games and watching our cartoons and watching our movies and that sort of crap. If there are not enough of us that stand against this ridiculous, pathetic attempt at globalization, then we are doomed to not only lose, but we are doomed to be serfs to this new goddamn system. And you know what, folks? Serfs, it's worse than slavery. Because when you're a serf, you are below slavery. You know what the definition of slavery is, folks? The definition of slavery is you earn no income, but you are housed, you're clothed, and you're fed. That's it. The bare minimum of sustenance is all you receive when it comes to slavery. Isn't that what they gave the slaves in the South? Remember, they had to clothe, house, and feed the slaves in the South in order to keep them happy. That's what slavery is. If we fall under this goddamn globalist order, are going to be below slavery. Below slavery. And I know that's hard for people to imagine, but I think that you all should read about the serfs in the Tsar dynasties. That was the Russian royal dynasty of the Tsars. Read about the serfs. Read about what kind of rights they had. They had none. Not only that, they didn't even have sustenance. They didn't even have the basic necessities of clothing, housing, and food. That's what we're destined for if none of us stand up to this globalist specter. And that's what it is, folks. It's a globalist specter that is communist in nature. Communist. Take a look at the consolidation of power all around you. Take a look at the European Union. I say this all the time because it's the truth. What was the last country to call itself a union? It was the Soviet Union. The first communist nation state. You have to realize that this is all communism. That this whole globalist idea is nothing but communism. And unless we have enough people out here that have the balls to stand up and stop it, we are going to succumb to this communist specter. And folks, I have been advocating and hollering and screaming about this for 10 years. And I hope that there are some of you that have been listening and some of you that are gathering the inspiration enough to stand up and start fighting back. I'm hoping to inspire the leaders that are going to be the ones to help facilitate this fight back against this communist specter that is literally trying to take control of not just America, every country. If you are in Australia, you know they're taking over your country. Take a look at Melbourne. Take a look at the Chinese that are taking control of your real estate. I can go on and on, man. Take a look at the UK. Remember UK? You guys were supposed to leave the European Union. And ever since you all voted to leave Brexit, to leave the European Union, what has happened to your country ever since? It has incrementally, slowly but surely, it has incrementally gone into totalitarianism. I mean, now they're talking about full-fledged martial law in the UK if there is no Brexit. If there is no Brexit, and they don't come up with a deal with the EU, they're talking about martial law in the UK. Take a look at the European Union. Why don't you criticize the migrant crisis in the European Union and see if you don't get a knock on your door from authorities? Folks, this is the last stand right here. The United States is the last stand for freedom. And if you're just going to sit back and play your fucking video games, watch your cartoons, watch your boob tube, and think that everything is going to go away, it isn't. And by the time that you people realize that Ghost was right, it'll be too fucking late. It'll be too late. Anyway, folks, before I go, I do want to suggest one more documentary to you all, okay? And I'm going to gab it right now. Now, I want you all to recognize that in this documentary that I'm about to post, this documentary goes into how the entire media has always been complicit in black operations. And what this documentary goes into, it starts off with the Kennedy assassination. And it takes every piece of media footage that was broadcasted during that time of the Kennedy assassination. It takes every news footage that was put out and shows that they changed the narrative right before the eyes of the American people at least 20 to 25 different times. And look, there's no narration in this. This is all a compilation of nothing more than a bunch of news. That's all it is. All right, let me go ahead and gab this, but I gotta do something. I gotta say, look at this. Look at this. The CIA and black operations have always been a part of the media. And this is a 10-hour documentary as well. But remember, the reason that these documentaries are so long is to prove without any shadow of a doubt that the claims that are being made are validated through evidence and proof. All right, here it is right here. Let me go ahead and gab it out right now. For those that are listening on the archive and are saying, Ghost, what are you talking about? Which documentary? It's called Evidence of Revision. In parentheses, the assassination of America. Take a look at the first couple of hours, and you'll be sick to your stomach. You'll be like, Ghost, you're right. The CIA and the black operatives, they've always been a part of the media. They've always been a part of shaping our narratives. You're goddamn right, folks. That's why they're trying to censor the internet. They are trying to censor those of us that are trying to convey the truth, because they don't want the public to know the truth. They want the public to know their version of the truth. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get out of here with about 30 minutes left. I want to thank you all for listening to this very free format, very kind of just impromptu type of situation here on this broadcast. I want to thank you all for listening. It's been a very, very interesting day, to say the least. And I want to apologize to everybody who wanted a traditional formatted show. My apologies, folks. I had to get things off my chest, man. I had to get some of these things off my chest. And I hope that some of the things that I've conveyed, you folks can look into and start realizing the truth. And hopefully, once you realize the truth, you're not afraid. You're inspired to fight. You're inspired to be selfless. You're inspired to fight a very evil enemy at any cost. Because without people like you that are willing to challenge this enemy that is willing to do anything to us, to assert their authority on us, without you, we are nothing. Without you, we are nothing. And I hope that many of you that listen to this broadcast are future leaders, because we fucking need you, man. We fucking need leaders. We need people that are going to inspire others. Because if we don't have enough of you people, all these goddamn losers, these fatties, uglies, and faggots that attend all these protests, that are a part of the leftist resistance, are going to take us over. And I don't like that prospect whatsoever. I don't like that prospect whatsoever. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here, folks. Once again, if you want to look at some things that are going to show you the truth, take a look at my Gab right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and look at those two videos. And just take a look at them. Watch them. And be shocked by the fucking truth, all right? Slap some fucking truth into your face. Watch those things, all right? Let me tell you the two documentaries one mo again. The two documentaries are September 11th, The New Pearl Harbor. I just reposted it on my Gab. And the next one is called... Oh, I forgot the damn name of it. Hold on just one second. Evidence of Revision is what it's called. Evidence of Revision, the Assassination of America. Both of those will shock the hell out of you if you believe that we always lived in a happy-go-lucky America where the media always told us the truth. The media never told us the truth, folks. They were always a part of the black operations. They were always a part of the black operations. Look! Look at the damn documentaries! It's evidence, for Christ's sake! Especially Evidence of Revision. Evidence of Revision is nothing more than a compilation of the actual media that was broadcasted to America at the time. There's no narration. There's nothing. It's just unadulterated, documented proof. That's what that is. And it's proof that the media has always been behind the CIA and the black operations. The media has always been a part of it, folks. They shape our narrative. Look at that, folks. You'll be shocked. You'll be fucking shocked. Anyway, I'm out of here, all right? I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here in about 25 to 30 minutes, man. I think I'm going to have another shot or something. I don't know what the hell, man. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in with me. And once again, please spread the word about the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Because what you're going to hear on here is nothing but unadulterated truth. That's why every claim I make, what do I tell you to do? Google this, Google that, and you find it. You find the evidence, you find the documentation, because, folks, I'm not telling you a bunch of bullshit. I'm telling you the truth. Now, whether you can handle it or not, that's a whole other story. You've heard that saying. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle it. Some people can't handle it. Anyway, folks, I am out of here. I want to thank each and every one of you all for listening to this broadcast, and I strongly implore you to please spread this show link around like wildfire. Let everybody you know across the internets and throughout the world, let them all know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas U.S. time. And, of course, the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast is ghost.report. That's all you got to type in your browser, add to your bookmarks, add to your favorites, ghost.report. Anyway, I am out of here. Thank you all for listening to me on this very, very impromptu, free-format edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. This is episode number 331. This is October 24th, 2018, and we are going to continue. I will be back Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas U.S. time, live on the broadcast, and I anticipate that we're going to have a lot more to talk about this Friday. Spread the word about the broadcast, folks. I'm getting out of here, and remember, long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism! Death to socialism! And death to communism! Do you hear me? Death to communism! I'm out of here. You better be here this Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard U.S. Texas time. I will be live on this damn broadcast speaking the truth! The fucking truth!